Thank you, Mr. President. Just a few days, America's eyes will turn toward the Senate Judiciary Committee as we begin the process of considering Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson for her nomination to the Supreme Court. It's going to be a historic moment on Monday as Judge Jackson appears before the committee. Gaveling the hearing to order as chair of the committee will rank as one of the highest honors of my career in Congress. Next week, the American people will have a chance to meet Judge Jackson, learn about her professional record, and her life experience. But for now, let me briefly share a few things that have impressed me the most. By now, I'm sure many have heard about her experience. Judge Jackson has clerked at every level of the federal judiciary. Most lawyers would consider a clerkship in any court as an achievement that they could brag about for years. She served as a clerk at every level of the federal judiciary, including the Supreme Court. She served in many roles in the courtroom as a public defender, a lawyer in private practice, and a district and circuit court judge at the federal level. She was confirmed by the Senate unanimously to serve on the U.S. Sentencing Commission, and she would be the first justice since Thurgood Marshall with considerable criminal defense experience. Her qualifications are exceptional. In every role she's held, she has earned a reputation for thoughtfulness, even-handedness, and collegiality. And just as impressive as Judge Jackson's record is her character and temperament. Humble, personable, she's dedicated herself to making our legal system more understandable and more accessible for everyone who came in her courtroom. Finally, of course, there's the perspective that Judge Jackson will bring to the High Court. Over the course of its history, 115 justices have served on the Supreme Court. If she's confirmed, Judge Jackson will be the 116th, but she would be the first Supreme Court justice who is the daughter of parents who felt the crushing oppression of segregation, and the first justice who has represented the indigent as a public defender. Judge Jackson also comes from a law enforcement family, has a deep appreciation for the risk of police officers, like her brother and uncles, and I believe one served on the Baltimore Police Department. Indeed, with Judge Jackson's confirmation, the Supreme Court would come closer to fully reflecting the diversity of America. When Justice Breyer announced his retirement, I promised that the process for confirming his successor would be fair and timely. Well, it has been. For instance, the committee sent a bipartisan committee questionnaire to Judge Jackson. In response, she provided materials that shed considerable light on her record, her accomplishments, her writings, her legal reasoning. Notably, this included more than 12,000 pages of public records from Judge Jackson's time on the Sentencing Commission. The committee also sent a bipartisan document request to the Obama Presidential Library. That request sought documents relating to Judge Jackson's nomination to both the Sentencing Commission and the United States District Court for the District of Columbia. In response to that request, the Obama Library produced more than 70,000 pages of material. Additionally, Judge Jackson has written hundreds of opinions, almost 600 now, which provide extensive insight into her legal philosophy. In short, the committee has all the information it needs to evaluate Judge Jackson's qualifications to sit on the Supreme Court. We've had to send a lot of follow-up requests for information too. She always responded in a timely way. So we're going to proceed with her hearing come Monday. This process will provide committee members an opportunity to question Judge Jackson, to learn more about her approach to judicial decision-making, her views on precedent, her record, on and off the bench. Here's how the hearing is going to work. Each member of the committee will be allocated 10 minutes to make opening statements. Each member will have a total of 50 minutes to question Judge Jackson. There are 22 members of the committee. If you do the math, there's plenty of opportunity for questions to be asked and answered. I expect it to be a substantive hearing. I expect members on both sides of the aisle to ask tough but fair questions and to give her an appropriate time to respond. And I expect that the committee will diligently perform our role in the Senate's advise and consent function. When the hearing is complete, I believe the American public will be keenly aware of just what an outstanding nominee Judge Jackson is. They'll also get to see what I've seen in meeting with her personally. She's thoughtful, brilliant, kind, and has a good sense of humor. She's already inspired young people across the country, young people who are just beginning to discover their passion for law. You see, she graduated from Miami's Palmetto Senior High School, a public high school in Pinecrest, Florida. Right now, the halls of Palmetto High are buzzing with pride in anticipation for next week's hearing. One school administrator told my office that even though the students will be out on spring break next week during the beach season in Florida, many will be coming together for a virtual watch party as Judge Jackson appears before our committee. The administrator said that many of these students see themselves in Judge Jackson, particularly the members of the speech and debate team, which Judge Jackson once was a member of herself. In fact, Judge Jackson has cited her time on the speech and debate team as one of the most formative experiences of her life. She described it as, quote, the one activity that best prepared me for future success. Well, today Judge Jackson is more prepared than perhaps anyone to serve on the Supreme Court. So to all the students at Palmetto High who are following in her footsteps, working long hours to hone their rhetorical skills, you're on the right track. While Judge Jackson may be the first Palmetto Panther to serve on the Supreme Court, there's no reason why she should be the last. Years from now, who knows, maybe one of you will be preparing for your hearing before this same committee. Until then, you should all be so proud of Judge Jackson. And Mr. President, I'd like to add another element to this, a personal element. When I spoke to Judge Jackson about her family, she's naturally proud of her husband, who is a surgeon, but she talked about her two daughters and showed me pictures of them. They're teenagers and obviously good kids. She's so proud of them. She told the story that when there was a vacancy announced on the Supreme Court several years ago, one of her daughters picked up a pen and wrote a personal letter to President Obama, said, "Why don't you pick my mom?" It's that kind of support every parent lives for, and it means a lot to her. She's a good person, a good mother, a good parent, and she'll be a great member of the Supreme Court. I also want to say that there are elements that obviously the public has paid attention to. This being the fourth time before the Senate Judiciary Committee, many people in America know Judge Jackson, or they've heard about her, or they've read about her. They believe in a positive way that she will bring diversity to the court, that she has the experiences necessary to serve effectively, that she'll uphold our constitutional values of liberty, equality, and justice. She'll protect the constitutional rights of everybody, not just the wealthy and powerful. She has ethics and integrity, and she will place justice before politics. I'm looking forward to this hearing. I'm happy that the Republicans have said publicly that they want to make it a respectful hearing, and I certainly hope they live up to that. I'll do everything I can to convince the Democratic side to aspire to the same goal. This could be an historic moment for America in the selection of this justice. I hope that the Senate Judiciary Committee rises to the occasion, and I have confidence that it will. Mr. President, I yield the floor.